Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show. So glad you could be here today. Listen, we've got a great show planned for you today. People were asked one simple question: what is a greater threat to America, Trump supporters or radical Islam? And one of them, who happens to be gay, still picks radical Islam. Yep. Today, we're finding out what that actually means. Well, my friends, let's jump into that liberal pool of madness right now. So sit back, relax, and buckle up. We're about to enter the Lib Zone.
What is it about Trump supporters that you don't think you'd get along with them so well?
I'm gay.
But you would get along with a radical Islamist?
Yes.
And you're gay?
Yes.
In solidarity with radical Islamists, would you look at the camera and say in solidarity, Allahu Akbar?
Allahu Akbar.
And would you say, make America great again in solidarity with the Trump supporters?
No.
Who do you have more in common with, a Trump supporter or a radical Islamist?
Radical Islamist.
You saw someone wearing one of those red hats chanting, make America great again, or you saw someone shouting Allahu Akbar running down the breezeway here, who would you feel more safe with?
The one shouting Allahu Akbar. Yeah.
There is a definite threat to America from radical Islam, but it just seems like the average American is completely oblivious to this. And the lady we're about to see, well, we've already seen her, but it's a little bit more in depth of why she thinks Trump supporters are a greater threat. But the problem is she just can't seem to give an actual answer. It's because they are completely brainwashed and they have none. They're just drones.
Who is a bigger threat to America today? Radical Islamists or Trump supporters and MAGA?
Trump support and MAGA.
Well, you just said you like kidnapping.
Neither.
Neither?
Yeah.
Neither are a threat.
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Why do you say Trump supporters?
It's just feeling ignorance and hate.
But you don't see by radical Islamists.
I mean, anything radical is not good in a sense, or if you're spewing hate and violence, but it's yeah.
Yeah. In solidarity with radical Islamists that you think are not as much of a threat to the country as Trump supporters, would you look at the camera and say in solidarity, Allahu Akbar?
Allahu Akbar.
Okay. And would you say, make America great again in solidarity with the Trump supporters?
No. No, I'm sorry, I would not.
This next clip shows the lady with the black hat that said that she has more in common with the radical Islamists than Trump supporters. But here is her reason why she thinks that. And quite frankly, I don't think she knows. Take a look.
Yes, I am a Democrat. Again, I am one of those people who believe in human beings and human rights and their independency. So I am definitely that kind of person. And honestly, I wish that any of the people from every other country can have that right, especially as with women who are also, especially in Islamic, who are having still having a little bit of an issue right there. So
What are they having an issue with?
With having women like doing stuff like going to school and having their independency. That is what I would support as well.
Okay. You do have more in common with them. Okay.
Yeah.
We're all about freedom of religion here in America, but honestly, my friends, this is not about that. This is about where tolerance becomes blindness, and that is dangerous. Check out this next lady. You've already seen a little bit of her. She now says that, well, she doesn't think radical Islam spreads hate, which I don't understand how that could even be a conclusion in anybody's brain, but here she is.
They're all not bad. You know, you can't look at, who are we to judge? I can't look at you and say you're terrible or he's terrible just because of our color or our religion. If we only let people be who they are, it would be a better world.
Yeah, and that's the problem. While Christianity does proselytize throughout the world, spreading the good word, nobody is forced to convert to Christianity. Whereas if you take a radical Islamist, if you don't convert, you're considered an infidel, and in their ideology, they are totally entitled to kill you. It's a pretty huge difference. Let's get back to it.
Unfortunately, we try to make everybody the same. And in the end, yeah, we all bleed the same and we're all going to die and pay taxes. That's the two things we're guaranteed in life. But we should be able to allow people to be who they are.
Yeah. Even if they're a radical Islamist.
Yes. There's no right to judge them.
Absolutely.
Because we have freedom of religion. We should be able to believe in whoever we want to believe in.
Exactly.
We do.
Who do you have more in common with, would you say? A Trump supporter or a radical Islamist?
I don't even know if it's between the two of them.
Well, just between the two, who do you think you would have more in common with?
Probably a radical Islam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not hatred. I don't believe they don't push hatred.
What the hell did you just say?
They believe in their God, you know. I don't believe that everybody hates. I just can't. There's a lot of hatred. He's causing a lot of hatred in this world. And
Okay.
I do believe that.
You would say that Trump supporters are more hateful than radical Islamists?
It's not even Democrat and Republican anymore. It's Democrat and MAGA. The Republicans became MAGA. It's like drink the Kool-Aid, be MAGA, and it shouldn't be MAGA. You know, they wear hats and T-shirts. If you're going to go to an event, enjoy it. Just be yourself. Don't advertise hatred, and that's what MAGA does.
Yeah, and well, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. If you saw someone wearing one of those red hats chanting "Make America Great Again," or you saw someone shouting Allahu Akbar running down the breezeway here, who would you feel more safe with?
The one shouting Allahu Akbar. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The MAGA. Honestly, I'm afraid to go past trucks anymore because they all have bumper stickers on their cars, MAGA, you know, all this. And I'm also afraid, like years ago when we passed somebody on the highway, you give them the finger or just, you know, now you're afraid they're going to shoot you.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
What's a bigger threat facing America today? Radical Islam or Trump supporters in MAGA?
The second one.
Trump supporters?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really believe that they're way too radical. We need to be more open-minded to everybody is welcome to in this world.
Do you think that radical Islamists are kind of treated poorly?
Probably somehow.
Yeah. Well, I'm asking people today to stand in solidarity with our Islamic brothers and sisters, the radical ones as well. If you will look at the camera and in solidarity say Allahu Akbar for them.
How I will say that?
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu
Akbar.
Akbar.
Okay. And then to stand in solidarity with Trump supporters, would you do that? Would you say make America great again?
No.
What is a bigger threat facing America today? Radical Islam or Trump supporters?
I would have to go with the Trump supporters.
Okay. Why so?
Because
Okay. In solidarity with radical Islamists, would you be
I lived
willing?
in the Middle East for 17 years.
Okay. Would you be willing to say Allahu Akbar to the camera in solidarity?
No.
Okay.
I'm all about peace.
Okay. Would you be willing to say make America great again for like the Trump supporters?
Nope.
No?
Nope. I'm totally just. Everyone should just live in peace.
Okay. Can we live in peace with radical Islamists?
You're asking me this after a few beers. I think we can learn to accept other people's thought process and thoughts.
These people are so delusional. And speaking of delusion, here is the lady in the black hat who gives us the reason why we really need to just give the radical Islamists a break because they've suffered so much. She's an idiot.
And they basically suffered a lot, so I would definitely give them a little bit of a credit. But yeah, so that's what I would think, and a little bit of support, just because
You would support the radical Islamists.
yeah, and basically, I mean, we're all humans, you know, we're all human beings, so and no matter what religion or what we look like, where we came from, it doesn't matter. I mean, we need to respect each other.
It literally doesn't matter where we came from, our religion or ideology.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. So would you say then, based on that, what you just gave me, you would say like Trump supporters are a little more of a threat to the country?
it just depends on the people with their opinions.
Well, we're generalizing.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I would say, Trump supporter. Well, not Trump supporter, but like to a threat.
Women.
If you're enjoying the show and would like to support what I do here, scan the QR code. Links are down below because the Lib Zone runs on hot chocolate. Let's get back to it. And now we're going to take a look at these people, and their sense of danger breaks. Not just breaks down, it breaks. It reminds me of that question that has been asked of ladies on social media about, if you're stranded in the forest, who would you rather have with you? A man or a bear? And there are so many women that say a bear, which is absolutely insane.
What is a bigger threat to America today? Trump supporters and MAGA or radical Islam?
Trump supporters and MAGA.
Yeah. What made you come to that conclusion that MAGA is worse or a bigger threat to the country than radical Islam?
Well, anytime you have uneducated people voting, that's pretty bad for your democracy.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Do you think there's any threat by radical Islam to the country?
I'm sure there's a threat by millions of people, but percentage-wise, not in comparison, no.
How many, well, let me ask you this. Would you be more afraid if you heard someone scream Allahu Akbar? Or would you be more afraid if you saw someone coming down the street with a MAGA hat on?
I guess it'd have to be depending on the circumstances of the situation.
It depends.
Well, I mean, you know. Yeah, I heard the question.
So if someone came running down the street, Allahu Akbar, or if there was someone on the opposite side saying, make America great again, got my red hat on, which side would you run to?
I don't know.
Oh, she knows. She's just too afraid to say the right answer. These people are such cowards.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. And what is it about Trump supporters that you would say they're so threatening?
Well, because I don't want to hear anybody else's side.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
What's a bigger threat to America today? Radical Islam or Trump supporters and MAGA?
I'd almost say Trump supporters just because it's local. It's here.
I honestly have to agree with that, yeah, probably because it's just at home. But at the same time, I really do believe that there's a lot of different, how do I put this? A lot of different problems out there in the world that we could be addressing.
What's the biggest threat towards America today? You can pick from radical Islam or Trump supporters and MAGA.
I would say Trump supporters and MAGA.
What, are you retarded?
Yeah.
Wait, are they?
Why would you say so? Why would you say that?
They do a lot of radical decision making, probably.
Yeah.
Or what you see for most of the part. It's basically all I got.
Okay, all right. What do you know about radical Islamists?
They can be quick thinking and irrational.
You're rational? Okay. But they're less of a threat towards our country than Trump supporters.
I mean, they're not here, that I know of.
They're not here?
Like in this country, I would say.
How many terrorist attacks did they commit last week?
That I know of, like 2.
On the same day, there was 2, but 4 in total for the whole week. Do you know how many terrorist attacks Trump supporters committed?
I'm sure a few, depending where it's at.
Do you know how many terrorist attacks Trump supporters have committed last week?
How many? I'm not sure.
Take a wild guess.
Really? I didn't even know Trump supporters were doing that.
Yeah, they aren't.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Yeah,
they don't do that. They don't do that.
3 or 4. I'm not sure.
You would have guessed 3 or 4 terrorist attacks by Trump supporters?
Yeah.
Okay. What makes you come to that conclusion or that opinion?
Because they're very out there, for sure. Like, they are very out there and like stubborn to one way, and they'll never see different ways at all. Even though, there's different point of views, they'll never understand it, for sure.
Yeah, Trump supporters because they just do not have a brain, respectfully.
Yeah. Radical Islamists definitely do.
Maybe.
Yeah. At least a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit more.
Okay. Who do you have more in common with, a radical Islamist or a Trump supporter?
A Trump supporter, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're a bigger threat to the country?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh gosh.
Okay.
Wow.
How many terrorist attacks did Trump supporters engage in last week?
So many.
Just guess.
Thousands. Yeah.
Thousands of terrorist attacks by Trump supporters last week?
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what about radical Islam? What about that?
And here is where the confusion led by the mainstream media leads to downright delusion. This next lady, who happens to be gay, would rather have the Ayatollah be in charge rather than Donald Trump. Her hatred of Trump leads her to believe that the Ayatollah would be a better choice. And in that choice, she would be condemned to death for sure, without question, within the ideology of the Islamic terrorists. So, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Let's take a look.
Would you say make America great again?
No, that. I would say get Trump out of office.
Okay.
That's
Would you
what I
like to
would say.
replace him with a radical Islamist? Would that be
I
better?
would replace him with anyone
Okay.
at this point.
Like even like the Ayatollah from Iran.
I would
if we could bring
replace
him back
with
to life
anyone at this point.
as a gay woman.
As a gay woman.
Okay. All right.
Anyone. I would replace him with a piece of grass at this point.
Or a radical Islamist.
You're gonna say that you choose Trump over anything else?
Over a radical Islamist, 100%. Yeah, I even chose him over Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, 100%. It's really concerning that as a gay woman, you would...
It's really concerning that you're crazy.
Yeah, so you're a gay woman and you would rather side with You choose a radical Islamist who would kill you. Trump supporters don't go out and kill people for being gay. Their hatred for Donald Trump is so severe that they would rather have someone in power that would literally murder them. Murder them. This truly is a disease, and I think we need to open up mental facilities.
So she would rather be executed than to say, make America great again? Well, I think Kaitlin might be onto something with those mental institutions. Maybe we should make those great again. All right, my friends, that is it for today. Thank you for spending time with me. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, hit that bell, maybe do a hype. And until the next episode, stay safe. Have a great day.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear.